It's June 2018, tons of great games are coming this month, including a few I'm very specifically looking forward to. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 games you need to look out for in June 2018. Number 10, The Crew 2, a game that we just got a beta for, so I have a feeling we'll be discussing more in depth soon, is a persistent, open-world racing game that builds on a lot of the ideas of the first. The map is a scaled-down recreation of the United States, and it's not just a car racing game. We've got boats, motorcycles, planes, and varied gameplay for each. There's off-road gameplay, street racing, pro racing, freestyle, all over the place that can be played in co-op multiplayer, on your own, or even with AIs. The game's graphics are a substantial improvement, and it looks much more slick. I'm excited to try out the beta, but the full game will be coming on June 29th for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Number 9 is a weird title. It's called Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido, and it has a really bizarre story about how sushi has given rise to the empire and all of this. It's a game that focuses on quote-unquote sushi battles, and essentially functions as a puzzle game. It's not hard, at least to understand, but it is a sort of frenetic take on the Match 3 game, and it's actually a pretty good idea, I think. There is actually a demo available for Switch if you want to try it out. I think it's a pretty good take on the genre. It's also got a sense of humor that works really well, I think. And I think to be an action/puzzle game, you have to present some form of humor. It does it really well, not only in all of the media content, but even in the demo. It's coming on June 8th for the Nintendo 3DS as well as the Switch. I have a feeling the Switch will be the superior version, obviously, and I look forward to playing the full game. Number 8 is Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn, and in every way this is a game that probably shouldn't exist, but it's great that it does. If you remember in the 1990s, there was a Shaq Fu game, which was weird. It was also kinda good, but kinda bad, and it's kind of influencing the new Shaq Fu. It was originally a fighting game, but it's more like a beat-em-up now, which if I'm honest, it's probably something I'd rather play anyway. Not that it doesn't give me nostalgia to play a Shaq fighting game, but I have played a Shaq fighting game. I'd rather play a beat-em-up, if I'm honest. There's not enough good beat-em-ups, and frankly, an indie developer that successfully funded a frankly bizarre beat-em-up, I think likely has a better chance of putting out a good one. Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn comes out June 5th to Xbox One, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Number 7 is The Elder Scrolls Online Summerset, a game that looks like, with the Morrowind expansion that Elder Scrolls Online had previously, will probably help scratch the itch that we've all been having for more Elder Scrolls until there's more Elder Scrolls. Now, keeping in mind that it still has the kind of MMO stuff which a lot of people who want to play Elder Scrolls don't really want to deal with, it's probably still going to be decent. Morrowind was a decent add-on. I kind of ignored the MMO stuff as much as possible, and I suspect I'll probably do the same with Summerset. I'm not gonna lie and say, like, this is what I was waiting for or anything. What I'm waiting for is to hear for what the next actual mainline Elder Scrolls game will be. But I'm also not disappointed, because, like I said, I had fun in Morrowind. It was really nice to see Morrowind looking that nice, and doing some new stuff in it. And also, who really knows when on Earth the next Elder Scrolls will be. I have some hopes pinned for E3. Fallout 76 could have operated as a smokescreen and maybe the smaller project, because they are doing a very large press conference this year, supposedly one that will be longer than any other one they've ever done, which is of course interesting and leaves me with a little hope, but hey, this should probably still be good too. Elder Scrolls Online Summerset is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on June 5th. Number 6, Switch users, get ready, it's Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Frankly, one of my favorite games of last year. Looking pretty damn nice from what I've seen, and I really look forward to seeing the game in full. See, I will take basically any excuse to play that game again, and being I like the Doom port quite a bit, I was fairly impressed with the fact they managed to do the full Doom and not have it look like dog crap, and being that Wolfenstein is actually a little bit less effects heavy than Doom, I think they're gonna handle it very well. It's a pretty game, and from everything I've seen on the Switch, it doesn't actually make too big of a sacrifice to remain pretty. The new Wolfenstein games, in my opinion, are a friggin' treasure. I love the hell out of them, and anybody who's got a Switch and hasn't played this game, this is probably a pretty good opportunity for you. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus comes to Switch June 29th. Number 5, Lego The Incredibles is coming out to everything. Now, if you're familiar with Lego games, they're basically sort of a simplified action-adventure version of whatever franchise you're playing that always injects an extra layer of humor that sort of acknowledges the sort of weirdness that comes alongside doing a Lego version of the game. There's always a lot of self-awareness, and it usually makes the game a lot of fun, allowing you to relive the best moments of whatever franchise it is they're touching on, and Incredibles has a lot of those. There's some interesting ideas afoot allowing you to modify your character's appearance using Edna, the character that modifies characters' appearances in the movie, as well as having a big open hub world with a day and night cycle. Not typical LEGO fare, but it seems like it makes sense within the context of The Incredibles. LEGO The Incredibles comes to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on June 15th. Number 4 is Lumines Remastered. Obviously, Lumines is a critically acclaimed and widely loved puzzle game, at least by the people who have heard of it. If you haven't, don't worry, it's from a while back. The original came out in 2005, it came out for the PlayStation Portable, and is not unlike Tetris, but also has a great deal of sound and light elements to it. Frankly, this game is a great example of a puzzle game that takes the Tetris tradition and adds some meaningful ideas to the mix. Lumines Remastered comes to PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One on June 26th. Look out for it. It is a good one. Number 3 is Jurassic World Evolution, which I think this was a brilliant idea personally. It's a business simulation game, an almost theme park type game, if you would, in which you take on the idea of building a Jurassic Park, managing it, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, it's Jurassic Park / Jurassic World, so you will have to deal with power failures, unpredictable weather, and of course, what happens when the dinosaurs get out. But beyond that, you'll have to actually help sick dinosaurs, move them, mend fences, and obviously sedate the escaped ones. There's a large number of interesting ideas, including playing as maintenance staff in a first-person perspective, and I think overall, if this nails it, this is a game that should have been made a very long time ago. Jurassic World Evolution comes to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on June 12th. Number 2 is Mario Tennis Aces, a game that I think you know what you're getting if you're getting into it, but it seems like there will be numerous additions and improvements, including an online mode that, well, seems like it should have been in the previous game, but the online mode was severely limited in the previous Mario Tennis game. Mario Tennis is fun as hell. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that I think this is going to be innovative or some kind of bombshell game, but I love Mario Tennis. I look forward to playing it, and it comes to the Nintendo Switch on June 22nd. And finally, number 1 is Vampire, a game that I've been looking forward to since it was announced. It looks awesome in my opinion. I love the tone of this game. The whole idea is that it's set in the Spanish flu epidemic way back in London, 1918. The game puts you in the role of a doctor who has been transformed into a vampire and having to figure out how to balance their duties as a doctor with being a vampire, which promises to take you on quite a dark path through self-realization. I personally think it's a great conflict to have to demonstrate, and I think that it lends itself to the type of game it is, an action RPG, maybe a little bit more fast-paced, maybe a little bit more arcadey than, say, Dark Souls, but I would say it really looks interesting and fun to me. I love the teleportation mechanic that we've been seeing. From what I've seen, the pacing looks really good in the fights as well, and for me, this is probably the game of the month. If this turns out to be as good as it looks, I'm stoked. It hits PS4, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox One on the 5th of June, and we will be